This is so weird.
What's weird?
You belong living in England. I think you would do well there.
Why? Because I call a Mounds a Peter Paul? Because I know what a Peter Paul...
I've never heard that in my life.
You've never...
I'm looking up all about this, and no. I've never heard Peter Paul. And like I said, nobody seeks out a coconut chocolate bar.
Wait, first off, they do. And we can get into the coconut chocolate in a minute, but do you truly mean to tell me that you've not once heard of Peter Paul? You've never heard the name Peter Paul?
First time in my adult life. As a child even. Maybe it was said and I didn't hear it. But I've never, ever, ever have I heard it called that before in my life.
So your mom never said, hey, grab me a Peter Paul Mounds?
Maybe she doesn't like coconut.
I guarantee you that if you go to your mother, now wait, you have an older sister. Yeah, you're the middle one. You're the middle child, right?
I'm the middle one. Yeah.
Okay, your older sister, hell, even your younger sister. But I guarantee you, your mother 100% knows about a Peter Paul. And as a matter of fact, I would bet that your older sister is very familiar with the Peter Paul. And yes, I know Hershey likes to take credit for coming up with the Mounds, and I know that the Cadbury company likes to say that they came up with the Cadbury egg, but Peter Paul came up with not only the Mounds, but the Peter Paul Schweppes, and I guess the Peter Paul Schweppe, they thought that Cadbury was a better name for the egg than the Peter Paul Schweppe. Me personally, I like the Peter Paul Schweppe, and the difference between a Peter Paul Schweppe and a Cadbury egg is Peter Paul Schweppe also had coconut filling. Peter Paul loved the coconut.
This is too much happening for me. Okay.
Is this
all right? And I see some images of Peter Paul, and I get you that he probably liked the white stuff coming out there.
He did
a little bit. All right,
he did.
Just taking a gander.
Yep.
He doesn't seem like he minded it very much.
Nope.
But like I said, wow. All my investigation here, and now this is just something new. And I bet you there's so many people listening that have no idea, have never heard this before in their lives, and that are going to take a look into this. You have taught us something.
And first off, weren't we? Wait,
wait,
we were in the middle of Rizzo and Jeff's A Hankering for a Holiday Wacky Weekday #1. I think we were doing celebrity breakups. We only got to Cody Simpson. And now, how did we get from Cody Simpson to Peter Paul? How did we...
I forget. Anytime you start talking Cody Simpson, it can derail you.
See, it fucks you up.
You know why? Because of his teeth.
Oh, right. Because you're right. Because his teeth, in my opinion, look like little white Peter Pauls. And you said, what's a Peter Paul?
You know what? This is why they broke up.
Yep.
Miley looked at his teeth and said, they look like Peter Paul's, and I can't be with you anymore.
I can't be tonguing a man with Peter Paul's in his mouth.
You solved it.
Unemployment choo-choo. It's the unemployment choo-choo. All right, so, we're in the middle of Rizzo and Jeff's Hankering for the Holiday Wacky Week Day 1. And, we just for today, and we have a lot more planned for this week, but we're going to abandon our initial plan, which was to talk about wacky celebrity breakups. And just, real quick, I guess, before we get any further, just in case there is one or two people that actually care about these celebrity breakups, I guess I could just run down the list real quick, and then we can get back to the issue at hand. Is that fair, Jeff?
Oh, please list me.
Okay, yes. We're going to list you.
I know you love to do that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So obviously Tyler Perry had a rough year. Broke up with his longtime girlfriend.
Oh, did he?
Supposedly.
I wonder what happened there.
Yep. Johnny Galecki. He had a rough year. Olivia Wilde, Jason Sudeikis, Iggy Azalea, and Rihanna.
Okay.
A couple more. Juliana Hough. Cole Sprouse called it quits with Lily Reinhart. Pretty upset there.
Yeah, that one's a punch in the gut, huh?
And finally, before we get back to our discussion of Peter Paul's, Jonah Hill lost his very sexy fiancée, Gianna Santos. And you had a quick theory about that, Jeff.
Yeah, look, I don't think his life's been the same for a long time. You know why?
Why? Because he cut his hair?
No, he lost the weight. And nobody likes a skinny Jonah Hill. And that's the honest truth.
You know what's funny? I think you're right.
You're right.
You're right.
If I asked you, which Jonah Hill do you like better? You like the fat Jonah Hill?
Well, here's the thing. I like super bad Jonah Hill. Not only did I like fat Jonah Hill, but I liked fat with the fro. And then he sort of got all movie star, and like when he was with Channing Tatum in 21 Jump Street, if you noticed from 21 Jump Street to 22 Jump Street how much shape he got into, I think it was because he started to hang out with the Channing Tatum. And like you said, you're right. So you think his physical fitness, because this girl's hot, you think she wanted, a cuddly fluffy.
She was enamored with him, the panda bear, right? The bigger guy when he was, happy being who he was, and you eat what you want, you giggle, you laugh, you have a good time. She never
had to worry about him wandering with a wandering eye, because she's way better than he could probably ever do. So she probably felt really secure. He had a lot of money,
and you know what he turned into? Probably fitness guru guy.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. He's Jack LaLanne before you know it. All right.
He's the you know what he probably is. You ever see that weird guy on the infomercials, the Tybo guy?
Yes.
He's the Tybo guy. What's his name?
Billy Blanks.
Billy Blanks. Yeah, he's Tybo guy.
Right. So he turns into that guy. You know who they are. So there he is. So he's the one that's going to tell you how to eat healthy, okay, and how he did it because he lost the weight. So he becomes that guy. And everybody's going, no. Some people just belong staying fat. John Goodman.
Oh, you know what? He got skinny too, and I hate it. Like, that's why I'm telling you, if you recall last week's podcast, we're all high and mighty, and you were like, oh, I want, current Goodman. I don't like Lanford Goodman. And I'm telling you, he looks like shit skinny. Shit.
Well, yes, he does look like a wet dish rag.
He does.
But, I think the conversation was the character in him, who he is, and not about what his looks are. I mean, if you look at him, he looks like he was run over and then backed up on.
Right. Well, he does. He looks like him. I'm just trying to think who else lost a lot of weight. So, yeah, Jonah Hill. You have, who do you have? You have John Goodman. I'm just
trying. When you look at people, now some people can pull it off and be okay. Like
Perez Hilton. Perfect example.
Hilton. Right, but like some people can pull it off. Perez Hilton, okay. Drew Carey, when he lost the weight, I mean, he was basically he was a walking planet.
Nope, I don't like Drew Carey skinny. I don't like it.
Well, I don't know if you watch The Price is Right, but he's trying to grow the beard for the holiday special, so he looks like Santa Claus a little bit.
So wait, but do you like a skinny Drew?
I like a skinnier Drew.
Really?
The fat Drew on that show looked like he was always hot, and he had a turtle head the entire time, like he had to go to the bathroom.
What do you think about a skinny DeVito?
Yeah. DeVito is what he is.
This is what I think. And again, a lot of people are just hankering at the bit to continue this Peter Paul Mounds conversation.
DeVito looks like his top was screwed onto his bottom.
You're right. He looks like a Mr. Potato Head.
Right. Like he was he was bolted together with tacks.
Yeah, with tacks and Scotch tape.
Right.
So you think that she broke up with Jonah Hill because Jonah Hill isn't fat. So you think Jonah Hill would get more ass if he was fat? That's what you believe.
Because he didn't care. He carried it with confidence.
You're right. And
we have friends that are like that. Carried it with confidence.
You're right.
And you're good to go. But then you start the weight loss train because you want to be healthy and live. Right. What's living? Off of carrots?
Yeah.
That ain't living.
It ain't. You're right. And you know what? I'm trying to think of... So you think he would look better fat? Jonah Hill. Like, you think he would look better fat? I'm just trying to think of some...
I think he needs to head to Five Guys Burgers and Fries stat. and just get it back together.
I'm just,
All right.
you're right. I'm just, because even like Zach Galifianakis, he lost a lot of weight. I don't like skinny Zach Galifianakis.
Gone. He's gone.
You're right.
What a fun program that was. That was MTV, right? And he was on that or whatever it was. Or
Between two ferns, and then he disappeared.
Gone off the face of the earth. Why? Lost the weight. Why?
You know who else lost the weight? His career got ruined, and then you know what he said? He said, fuck it, and got fat again, and his career is still in the toilet. This is proof that if you're fat, and you're famous when you're fat, and then you lose the weight, it's a big gamble, because if people don't accept you as skinny, you can't put the weight back on. There's actually a celebrity that you and I are both very familiar with that did this.
Look, you're fat, you stay fat. People are going to go, that guy likes to eat, he's a good time. You go to places, you get free meals. Then you lose the weight. Then if you try to put the weight back on or you put it back on, people are going to go, well, that back to being a fat pig again.
Right, back to being tubby. You should have just stayed tubby.
Just stay a friggin' moose.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you his initials because I know you're not going to think of it. His initials are BV.
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 All right, who do you got?
You have no idea, do you?
No.
The fucking Valanche!
Bruce Valanche. Bruce, I'll meet you in a public restroom, Valanche.
Bruce, bend me over at a truck stop, Valanche.
Yes, Bruce, that's it.
So Bruce Valanche, he was on Hollywood Squares. He was fat. He thought it would be a good idea to lose weight. Have you heard a fucking thing from Valanche since?
No, and you shouldn't. You know why? Because Bruce took all his money and he opened up like all those rest stops on the parkways that have the Roy Rogers in them.
Right. And he's got an upskirt camera.
Yeah, and he said, you know what? He doesn't even want to play games with the Roy Rogers. He said, hell no to the pickle bar. That's too healthy.
That's right. He's got cameras and watches poop come out of the arse.
Right. So he will sit in there and hang out.
Fuck the pickle bar.
Right, he's got a stool set up, and he's ready to go. It's all the Valanche stops.
So
all up and down.
So you know what? Maybe instead of saying, "Hey, I have to hit the rest stop," you say, "Hey, I got to hit a Valanche."
I got to hit a Valanche.
I got to hit him.
And he doesn't look. He doesn't do the middle. He doesn't do the middle square. He does the middle stall.
That's right. So. That's right. It's the unemployment choo-choo. Unemployment choo-choo. Unemployment choo-choo.